All right, here we are, the official roundup on all 8 Alpha and Omega movies. And here's a tier list right here for where I will rank them from S all the way to F rank after going through all the films as originally supposed to do these one video per day last year, but I end up was forced to go stay at my mother's new boyfriend's house to celebrate his daughter's birthday during Christmas Eve last year, which it's a true story that it's on Christmas Eve for her birthday. And we end up stayed for extra days because my mother always makes these quote unquote promise that she would take me and her home after celebrating, but instead she ended up saying, I want to sleep in, I'm tired, as we stayed at his house, which you can tell by the echo sound in my Alpha and Omega-Cember 2 and 3. Those were recorded at my mother's boyfriend's house in the other room where it's quiet, as I managed to only make those 2 during that month of December. But later, I was more slow because when we was coming home, my grandfather was in the hospital for 3 days after Christmas, which was a Saturday, and we end up stayed overnight, and I missed out more days to do these one videos per day. But another problem I had to deal with copyright issues from Lionsgate and Splash on blocking some countries for them to not see it as I set them as audio only, where it does not see video scenes because copyright issue, which I had that problem with my 10th anniversary video. But anywho, I finally got it all done and done with all this venting. So here's the tier list for the Alpha and Omega movies, and let's get started. The first film is still good. I always enjoy this one mostly, as much as there are sequels, but this one always going to be good. So I'm going to be putting this in the S tier rank. A holiday related theme movie, even if it's where the pups made their debuts in this movie, but we had lack of characters to even make their return. But we also get like only few characters returning, like King in later sequels, as I mentioned in my videos. But then again, this one had to be a holiday related film as a sequel instead of being like a TV special or something. But I always will watch this movie for every December on Christmas theme watching. But I would say this movie goes in the B tier. A quote-unquote Olympics-like game in a way, where it was a competition against the other packs from the other territories, but with the absence of Kate being gone through the whole thing, which this was one of the reasons why this one is bad, all because Kate was not in this movie until last minute to appear as a, hey, what'd I miss? Kind of cliche to appear, but this was one of the confirmed movies to make more sequels from the creators that mentioned it in the DVD bonus features on the DVD movie, where that this 4 and 5 will be made. But that's where it was also showing a love at first sight for Claudette and Fleet to fall in love that fast and doing a turn right to the left tricks. But I say this one will go to a C tier. A Halloween-like theme sequel for this movie. When I mean Halloween, I mean like it has some moments that feels like it is Halloween for some spooky moments and stuff. But in honesty, I really did like Daria as a character where it makes you feel bad for her when you see her pup years. And I still did like the death scene from one of the antagonist characters that the ghost just takes him away, where basically a ultimate finisher, where it was still kind of cool to be honest. But too bad we never seen Daria to make her return or even be a cameo in the later sequels. But this one is going to be A tier. This one is not really a movie. It's more of a recap movie where they mostly recap all the events from the past films as they barely show the movie, but the rest is just recaps. As I mentioned in one of my videos saying if My Little Pony Friendship is Forever copied this movie where it's all barely present day, but they mention all past events. But this was pretty much a we get it, move on type of movie on more recaps they went through. But what caught my eyes is they recapped the first movie where it was back to the original animation style. But only downside is they kept the sequel versions of the voice actors in those flashbacks instead of the originals. Except one of the scenes had a huge change, was the Moose's back end part, where it was the sequel styles animation instead of the first movie. But this one, though, sadly, I say this will have to be in the D tier, which is D tier material. Because, I mean, they at least tried, but they end up just feature flashbacks. But we did get the flashbacks, but they couldn't reuse the audios from the first movie. Do I really need to explain about this movie? Well, like I said, this is not a movie, like, at all. At all. Especially for the fountain scene and the dancing scenes where it felt like it's a fan-made video. Nowadays, with people make those 3D model fan videos, like I keep saying, like those SFM videos, those Miku Miku dance videos and all that. Especially with the effects and everything, that's exactly the creative level that they are at these days. Which, again, that's exactly that creative level. But featuring dinosaurs, that's just... I have no words for this one. But this one's definitely going to the F tier. Next. Another Christmas movie. And when I mean another, just like I mentioned in my Alpha and Omega-Cember video, where it actually does show at the ending where they're setting up the decoration for the holidays. But this one did have good and bad parts in a way. I don't really know what else to say about this movie, but this one would go in the C tier. Now we got this last one, and this is a final installment. I said this a couple of times, and I'll say it again. They should have said, like, the final movie in this final adventure, instead of saying, a new adventure. And I said this too for the Brave Little Toaster to the rescue in their trailer saying, Disney presents the final chapter, which that proves, and I mean proves, it's the final one. But saying a new adventure makes it sound like they're just teasing us to make it sound like maybe they'll make more, but then it's actually confirmed to be the final movie. But this one will have to go to F tier as well. In conclusion, Now that I have all my roundup for all 8 movies and totals with their tier rankings, I still am a big fan of this franchise, even if it's been done for a long time now after the 8th movie got released as a final installment. But overall, now that I'm thinking about this series, I would give this franchise a whole as a B plus rank. Even if many say the sequels are bad, but this is my take. But again, as they tried on some of the sequels, but yeah, it's officially a B plus rank for the franchise. The tier link site is in the description where you can actually make your own tier list of all 8 movies in total. Now that it's a wrap up for Alpha and Omega-Cember videos, this is Sharingan1230 signing out.